part 2 of What It Takes to Be a Good Recruiter. On this episode, Corey Anderson joins us. We're going to go through numbers 6 through 10. Again, strictly mine. This is what I think it takes to be a good recruiter. We're going to get some feedback and reaction from Corey here, who's been doing this for a number of years. We'll see if these play into his everyday recruiting life.
Ready?
Atlas All Access starts now. Okay, welcome back.
Nice to be here.
It seems like you were just here talking about the shoes.
Yeah, hasn't been that long, a couple weeks.
Which is still, I don't know where we're at with this, but
Got to get our hands on them.
As of recording time, you still can't get them.
Correct.
Right, and we're recording this early in December, so you still can't get them. We'll see how this plays out.
We'll get them sometime.
We will get them. Okay, so number 6 through 10 of traits of a great recruiter. Like I've said before, I said this on each one of the episodes so far. This is strictly my list. I cobbled this together from a number of different lists and a couple videos that I watched, and I thought, okay, you don't have to be all of these, but you have to at least understand what they are and embody most of them.
Cool. And I'm going in blind because I have not seen these.
I hope so, yeah. So I want to get just your fresh take on these. Okay, so number 6, be coachable.
Yeah.
I think our industry changes
constantly
so much. Yes. So think back throughout your recruiting career so far. What does being coachable mean?
I mean, I think I'm about 6 years in, something like that, and still, it's weekly that I come across something that it's either been a really long time or something that somehow is still brand new to me. Mm-hmm. I reach out to some of the other even more senior people around here, or even some of the newer people that may have come across it. But you've got to be flexible and you've got to be able to adapt because it's a fast changing industry for sure. Mm-hmm.
And I wrote this down. I have little notes for each one of them. So being coachable to me is willing to learn, be an early adopter, understand that while these are the traits of a person that's coachable, not everything is going to work.
Correct.
And even if you try something and it doesn't work, be able to move on from that.
Yep.
Because I've seen a lot of recruiters get stuck before.
Yeah.
And because they believe something is going to work, and they just keep hammering that, and in the end, it really doesn't.
Like nothing, it's no different than anything else, learning from your mistakes,
Yeah.
It happens.
All right, number 7, be positive.
Got to be, because this is a extremely up and down job. Mm-hmm. Lots of highs, lots of lows. Riding those waves, too high or too low will wreck you at times. So you kind of got to stay positive.
And you and I talk a lot anyway. I mean, this is one of those things I think you do a very good job at, is especially when you lose somebody to, it probably isn't the best choice for them. Maybe because you worked with them for a while.
Sure.
And as your recruiter, you embody that. You kind of take that on. They make that choice anyway, but you stick with it, right? Yep. You stay with them. You're their recruiter no matter what.
Correct.
And you stay positive through the thing. Because, and I've seen this happen 100 times, and I know you've had it happen to you 3 weeks in, they'll call you and say, what did I do?
Yeah.
Right?
Happens.
And you stay positive.
Yeah. It's their decision ultimately, their career. I'm going to be supportive regardless. It still happens, you lose people for, a contract, but they come back hopefully. Mm-hmm. And bottom line is you end up becoming friends with these folks anyway. So you stay in touch and just like you would support a friend in any other way, you support these guys. So.
Yeah. All right. Number 8, be resourceful. And I think this goes to like problem solving and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. Because as much as on number 6 you said there's things that maybe after doing this for 6 years you've never seen or whatever, being resourceful and understanding maybe each situation differently plays into that problem solving piece.
Correct.
So give me an example maybe recently where it hasn't been, maybe it didn't go as smoothly as you would have thought, or maybe not as typical as you would have thought, but in the end it worked itself out.
Trying to think of an example. I don't know sitting here on the spot if I can come up with something super specific, but I can tell you that there's times often that I will go seek out you or another client manager, another recruiter, just due to a specific skill set a nurse might have, what they're looking for as far as traits in a hospital or locations or something. It's a team effort in here a lot. And, people come to me and ask me if I've got experience. I'll reach out to recruiters that I know they've had nurses at a certain place. Hey, tell me about the onboarding here. We've heard there's an exam or something before or when they get there that first day and those kinds of things. So for sure, I use people around here all the time.
Well, I think one of the reasons why, as I was looking for volunteers for this, and the Jake, now yourself, and then Braden next week, have kind of embody each section. Each one of you embodies a number of these, and we saw it last week with Jake. There's a number of these in here that really embody who you are as a recruiter. Next week, we're really going to see it with Braden. The last three really, really embody who Braden is as a recruiter.
Cool.
And honestly, the difference between the three of you is, while you're still very successful, all three of you are very successful, you're very different. And different in different ways.
Yep.
I think the be resourceful part was the shoe idea.
Yep.
You were the first one to see that and come up with hey, we got to do something with this, right? That's thinking outside the box, being more resourceful, thinking, okay, what can we do with this? Because in the end, it became a pretty big thing.
Yeah, it's been fun.
So yeah,
I can't wait to see how it turns out, honestly. So
me too. So hopefully by the time this airs,
we get them.
Announced some winners. Yeah.
Right.
So, but I think that's part of being resourceful, is using the tools that you have, and then really kind of thinking outside of all of that.
And luckily, we're blessed, obviously, here to have. I came to you with the shoe idea, and it's like, yeah, let's run with it. So I don't know that every agency would do that. So it's pretty nice.
Okay, so number 9, be passionate, and this kind of plays in. We'll talk about it a lot next week because there's a couple of them in there that really kind of embody this. But if you don't love what you do,
it's tough.
Recruiting's tough.
That kind of goes back to the staying positive thing. You've got to, and you'll find yourself as a recruiter. You got to fight for your nurses sometimes, different circumstances. But if you're not 100% in, then you're fighting for them isn't gonna be real easy for you. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
Yeah, you got to be.
And I know that there have been times, because you and I have had these conversations, and this isn't atypical at all, where you really, really believe this is absolutely what's best for them.
Yep.
And sometimes what's best for them doesn't always make a ton of sense from a business standpoint, maybe, right? But if you believe in that and you fight for it, I mean, that's being passionate as a recruiter.
For
and sometimes that means voices get raised, right? And then sometimes that feelings get hurt,
right?
And things like that. But in the end, if it's the right decision for the right reasons, it's the right thing to do.
For sure, no question.
So, all right. So number 10, and this kind of goes back to number 6, being coachable. Number 10 is ask questions, but I want to go at it from a different angle, because this seems super easy, but it's not only you asking the questions here as your role as a recruiter, but then you asking the questions on the phone and knowing what questions to ask, or through text, or through that type of thing.
Right.
I think you're very good, looking at you as a recruiter, you're very good at asking those questions to make sure that you get your travelers in the right positions that will work best for them.
Sure. I think a lot of that comes from just experience, for one. Getting information up front will cut off any problems down the road, or as many as possible. Nothing's ever super smooth, usually. Right. But you learn what to ask and what to find out early on, so you don't fight battles once a nurse gets to a hospital or during onboarding or whatever it might be. So, and it's important. Plus, you get to know them by asking questions.
Right. And sometimes it's less the question and more the silence that follows the question, right? It's very hard, because we all like to hear ourselves talk. I do, right? I mean, it's in the end, a recruiter is a salesperson to a certain extent, right? I mean, you have jobs that there are parallels there.
Yep.
You're not selling used cars or anything, but you understand where I'm going with this. That it's the ability to ask the question and then shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. The best phone calls are when you ask a question and then I sit there for 10 minutes listening. That's usually when your connections are made and all that good information comes out. So
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah. So again, these were ones I came up with of traits of a great recruiter. So
I think they're good.
I think there's a lot of them in here that, like I said before, if you may not be all of them, but you at least have to know what they are.
Yeah. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their own style and things, and it evolves constantly.
Right.
So
It absolutely, yeah. If there's one constant in our world here at the office in Atlas every day, recruiting traveling healthcare professionals it always changes.
oh, for sure.
Everything. There's nothing.
Always a surprise waiting for you.
Yes.
Somewhere.
Every day is different
Yep. No question.
in some way, good and bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
But being able to be coachable, being positive through it, staying resourceful, knowing where to go to get those answers, being passionate, loving what you do, even though sometimes it rubs people the wrong way.
Yep.
I get it. But that gets you to where you need to be. And then asking the right questions and making sure that you're taking care of your people on the back end there.
Yep. Those are all great.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. You are getting so good on the camera.
Well, I'm only sweating a little bit.
A lot of you don't know this, but when Corey started here, he didn't want to be on camera at all.
I still don't. I'm just trying to, get outside the box a little bit.
I love it. All right.
Thanks
Thanks
buddy.
again, man.
Yep.
We'll see you next week.